Yo, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dudes, and we're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Tuesday, October 23rd. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't already, go check out our website at dfscheatsheet.com. Hey, you're absolutely missing out if you haven't checked it out already. We have everything that you need to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily cash lines, and we've been on fire with NBA. Cashed 3 of the past 4 nights. NFL went absolutely bonkers yesterday with the 0 in our lineup. We still hit all entries, including quintuple ups, all the good stuff, tournaments. Hey, it's been a great week for the money team. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. dfscheatsheet.com. So how you doing out there, Jeremy?
What's up, man? Doing good. Doing good. Missed Monday Night Football. Didn't catch any of it. Think the game actually was a decent game. Missed the end of the Laker game because we were on a call for the site. That game went bananas. Missed it all.
Yeah, but hey, the positive is, hey, we made some money. All the members today of dfscheatsheet.com made some money. The money team is rolling. So hey, like I said, man, if you haven't joined the money team, ask yourself, what are you waiting for? So I'm ready to get in this slate. We got a 3-game slate. I think it's going to be a quick one. We'll get in, we'll get out. So you ready to get this rolling?
Yeah, so let's start with game one, man.
Yeah, so the first game that we're going to look at, it's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers going into Detroit. You got on the 76ers side of things, you got Ben Simmons, questionable. On the Detroit side of things, you got Andre Drummond questionable. So it's looking kind of like this is going to be a little bit of a mess going in tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll let you get started with the Philadelphia side of things.
Yeah, so Simmons was held out of practice today after leaving the Saturday game? Saturday's contest, right?
Right.
So he left the Saturday game, and then he was held out of practice today as well. So doesn't look positive for him to play, especially this early in the season. If he does play, he obviously becomes a really good play on this very short slate. But it's a GPP play, not a cash game play, because it's a back issue and it's a muscle issue, and that thing could tighten up at any time. A guy that I like a lot if he doesn't play, the guy I think who gets the biggest boost in this for tournaments is the guy from Wichita State, Landry Shamet. He's been a regular part of the rotation. He's $3,700. He's averaging 21 minutes per game over the first 3 games of the season. Hasn't had a ton of fantasy production except the Chicago game where he had 12 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and a block shot, a couple of steals, 27 Fanduel points. He would probably get the biggest boost if Simmons doesn't play. And then on a 3-game slate, you're looking at a guy that is probably pretty far off the radar as well. But he's been relevant. Like I said, averaging 21 minutes. JJ Redick coming off a monster game. Very low ownership. I think I had him at 1% owned. He goes for 44.8. He's a good play. And then, Joel Embiid is on a monster tear. And I think that it's well documented here. Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid don't like each other. I think this is a game. We kind of said this before with other games where I think it was the LeBron game, right, against Houston. This was a game in 82-game season. These guys were going to get up to play that game. A fight broke out. Those guys, it was an intense game. It was like a playoff game. Embiid gets up to play Drummond. So I think Drummond also gets up to play Embiid, but Embiid's going to get up to play Drummond. And that's really it. I mean, for me, it's a short slate. Everybody on their roster that's going to play is probably relevant in tournaments because it's such a short slate.
All right. So, yeah, no, I definitely think you touched for the most part. A couple of guys that I will quickly mention on the Philadelphia side. If Simmons is out, I also like TJ McConnell. Him and the guy Shamet that you brought up, they're actually going to be splitting minutes. I mean, that's what they did last game when Simmons left in the first couple of minutes of the game. So I like TJ McConnell as well. He's shown us in the past when he gets minutes that he can definitely fill up the stat sheet. Had a triple-double last year. And the only other guy, did you mention Saric?
Saric?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No, and I'll touch on two things. I love McConnell. McConnell would be the cash game play for sure. But the reason I mentioned Shamit is because I don't think anybody really this early on knows who the hell the guy is or that he's averaging 21 minutes. So to me, he's the tournament play for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just wanted to quickly mention him because I definitely think that that they were both in play. Saric, he's one of those guys that it's just like last year he had a really good year and he produced. And I mean, this year he's been decent, but the past couple of games I mean, the first game he got in foul trouble. The last against Chicago, 30 fantasy points. Against Orlando, 35. That's what I'm used to this guy doing. His price tag is going to get up a little bit. So I think that he's on a small slate. I think that he's a solid guy that's going to give you a good floor as well. The only thing that's kind of scary about him, and you probably were thinking about this, is he's going to have to guard Blake Griffin. And, the guy could get in foul trouble, but overall, good play. So on the Detroit side of things, the reason I wanted to touch on a couple other Phillies guys is because there's not really too much that I'm liking on the Detroit side of things, to be honest with you. Okay. So, I got Blake Griffin. Obviously, you got to like Blake Griffin, especially if Drummond's out. Blake Griffin's going to have a crazy usage. He's going to take a ton of shots. So if Drummond's out on this slate, honestly, Blake Griffin's probably going to be a lock. Either way, I think he's in a really good spot. Drummond, we don't know what's going to happen to him, if he's going to play or not. But, I mean, the thing I don't really like about going Drummond against Embiid if they both play is one of the big guys is going to get in foul trouble. So we got to kind of figure out, well, there's not really no way to figure out. But that's just kind of how I look at it when two really good big guys are going at each other. It just always happens. So for me, I mean, really on the Detroit side of things, I like Blake Griffin. Stanley Johnson, he had a decent game last game. He finally, got up to his. He's going to be playing about 30 minutes a game. So I think he's somebody you can look at a low price tag of under 5K. Maybe Is Smith. He's going to get a little bit of minutes. But outside of that, I mean, I really don't have no other guys that I'm looking for to really play on the Detroit side of things. Did I miss anybody on Detroit?
I mean, you're looking at a short slate. So if you're talking about tournaments, there's guys you have to take chances on, right? On the Detroit side of things, did you talk about Reggie Bullock?
No, I didn't. See, it's
So,
just,
I mean,
yeah, I understand though. It's a small slate, so you kind of can't really be too. I understand completely. He's just not somebody I would, really look at regularly.
whole slate, we're not looking to play Reggie Bullock. 3-game slate for tournaments to have a guy who's low owned. It's a Reggie Bullock or a Luke Kennard. One of the, those are like the one-offs that you want in a lineup to give you some upside. Obviously, it depends on what's going on and if certain guys are going to see certain minutes. A guy, Andre Drummond, I'm seeing is a game time decision because of the illness. I don't know if you mentioned that, but if he doesn't play, Henry Ellenson becomes a solid GPP play. He stepped in and played really well in spots where Drummond doesn't play. He'd be the first guy. He kind of has the Boban spot, right? When Boban Marjanovic was there,
Right.
everybody was dying for Drummond to be out to play Boban. That's the only other guy I'd mention is Ellenson.
All right. So moving on to the next game. The next game we're going to look at, it's going to be the Los Angeles Clippers flying into New Orleans to face the Pelicans. This game has a 237 implied total, which is the highest implied total on the slate. And New Orleans is favored by 6.5 in this game. So yeah, I mean, definitely get us started with the Clipper side of things.
Usual suspects here, right? I mean, not a lot of things are exciting to me there. Patrick Beverley's more of a defender than he is a scorer. Looking at the shooting guard spot, Lou Williams is a guy who can score the basketball. He's actually on a little bit of a price reduction. But, he's averaging 25 minutes. That seems to be that 26, 25 and a half, 26-minute spot seems to be the sweet spot for him right now. He's getting opportunity. I mean, he scored 14 points, 17 points, 12 points. He's just not doing the other things, and he hasn't had that one game where he goes off. This is a good spot for him at $5,500. Gallinari is the second highest priced small forward on the slate at 6,600. He should garner ownership just for his price tag, and he's the second highest priced guy. But really, Tobias Harris is like the only guy I want to play in this besides Boban.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really excited about anybody on the Clippers side of things. I mean, I would, you can always look at a guy like Tobias Harris. Definitely has some GPP upside, and like you said, Lou Williams. So on the New Orleans side of things, I mean, there's a lot to like on the New Orleans side of things. I mean, this is going to be a very up-tempo game. I expect the Pelicans to be very, very popular tomorrow. I think the big question is going to be, can you find the 13,000 to pay up for Anthony Davis? Because I mean, I understand he's worth every single penny. Don't get me wrong, but that is just a crazy high price tag. I mean, for him to hit value at a 13,000 price tag, you need almost 70. You need almost just for him to hit value. So, I mean, you could fit him in, put some scrubs in. You could go a little bit more balanced. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could do with this slate. I think there's definitely some good plays. And so Anthony Davis, obviously the top play on the slate. You can look at a guy like Drew Holiday, under 7,800. He's a guy that's been very consistent, solid floor. The guy that I absolutely love on this slate is going to be Miricic. The guy, I mean, he's getting his minutes and he's taking full advantage of them. He's getting right around 30 minutes a game, which you want to see from Miricic. In the past 2 games, he scored 30 and 36 real life points, 9 and 10 rebounds for 50 and 46 fantasy points. So the guys is going absolute bonkers. 7.4 price tag for me tomorrow. He's just going to be an absolute lock, especially on a position that, I mean, a small forward, there's not really nobody that I really like. Miricic, 100% lock for me. You can, I like him. You can look at his teammate Etwan Moore. He's only 4,800. He had 2 games, 133 minutes, 123, but consistent 29 and 19. I think you could look at him. Alfred Payton. I like Alfred Payton. He had a triple double the first game, decent second game. And, really the only other person I will look at coming off the bench would be Julius Randle. Definitely got to consider him. But I'm not really going to look past that. I mean, it's pretty much – for me, I'm just going to pretty much – sorry, I rambled on. It's the starting lineup and Julius Randle is where I'm at for the Pelicans.
Hey, bro, I didn't want to interrupt you, but we got a comment on this. I don't know if you saw it. Earl Borchi. I probably butchered your name, bro. Says he won 10K tonight because of the LA Spurs game. Is that a member? Is he a member?
I'm not sure. I have no idea about
Big up 10K, man.
Hey, that's what's up, bro. Congratulations, definitely. Congratulations. So yeah, so what do you like on the like I was just pretty much saying, on the Pelican side of things, I like the starting lineup and I like Randall. That's pretty much where I'm at.
I'll leave you with this and transition into the next game. Jokic is listed as a power forward now, and you can build lineups that have Davis, Jokic, and Embiid that are pretty decent lineups with the value that's on the board tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something I have to look into for sure. Hey, definitely. I mean, it may turn into a stars and scrubs like really, really quick. So we'll go to the last game that we got. Last game of the night is Sacramento going into Denver to face the Nuggets. This game has a 227 implied total. 11. Denver's favored by 11. And to me, this game has blowout written all over it.
The crazy thing is De'Aaron Fox is $8,000. I just don't see De'Aaron Fox as an $8,000 player. I mean, his production warrants it. He's averaging 39 fantasy points per game so far, so I get it.
He's overpriced like crazy. Overpriced. Huh? He's overpriced like crazy.
He's not, though. I mean, for 42, 31, and 43s. I mean,
but check this 31.4
against Drew Holiday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 31.4. So De'Aaron Fox is where I'll start it. A guy who looks like he's a very appealing play is Yogi Ferrell at 3,800. He's just not there. It's not that good of a play. He's 13.7, 14.4, 18.8, increased production over the 3 games, $3,800 price tag. I'm not going there with Yogi tomorrow. I mean, I'm sure I'll have some exposure to him, but you can play him. I'm just not excited to play him. This game has blowout written all over it. Jamal Murray is a game time decision, so that could possibly help it. There's no way to not point out without mentioning. I know I'm on the Sacramento side, but this game's going to be dominated by Jokic. This game will be dominated by Jokic. That's period, point blank, end of story. Will be dominated by Jokic. They don't have anybody to match up with them. Willie Cauley-Stein's a very, very, very good young player. He's improved over the past 2 years. But, $7,400, to me, your decision tomorrow is you play Jokic, Anthony Davis, or Joel Embiid. You try to fit two and punt. That's going to be the decision. Bjelica is the only other guy that I think is really relevant. Bjelica really came into his own last year with Minnesota. The guy's played really well. So far, he had one dud game. That was a New Orleans game. New Orleans is a lot better team in reality than what they look like. They're a good defensive team. Drew Holiday is a good defender. They're a good perimeter defensive team. But he got 35 against OKC, 33.6 against Utah. It was a pace down team. Bjelica is a very, very good play tomorrow. Outside of that, you can go to Buddy Hield if you want to. But, Hield's only averaging about 4 times what his salary is. So on this short slate, 4X is not going to get it done.
Yeah, no, I get you. And bro, the more I look at this, this slate, oh yeah, it's gonna be easy to get, Jokic, Embiid, all the big names that you want. Like it really is. So looking on the Denver side of things, that's where I'm seeing a ton of value on the Denver side, ton of value. So,
right.
We'll start at the point guard's position. It's looking like Jamal Murray's not going to play tomorrow. Okay, so boom, take him out. You can look at his backup. There's no Isaiah Thomas. The only other guy they have at point guard is Monte Morris at 3,600, looking like a solid punt play tomorrow. Whenever he's got minutes, in the first couple of games, he's did well. The last game against Golden State,
he's a point per minute.
Huh?
He's a point per minute player right now.
Right, exactly. So it's like if he's gonna start and he's gonna play 30 minutes, he's gonna crush his value. I think he's a really good play in this game. I'm gonna move on to shooting guard Gary Harris. If they got no Will Barton, to me, every time I look at Denver, I see them as a 3-headed monster in the guard spot. It's always Barton, Gary Harris, and Jamal Murray. All those guys, it's like the 3-headed monster for Denver. And 2 of the 3 are out. So obviously you got to look at the last one remaining. Gary Harris, 7.2 price tag. Last game played 34 minutes, 42 fantasy points. Game before, 35 minutes, 38 fantasy points. With neither one of his, running mates there, definitely like him. And then in the same position as shooting guard, you could look down at a guy like Torrey Craig, 3,900, possibly another very good punt play. He's projected to be in the starting lineup with no Barton. And this guy last game played 26 minutes, got you 25 fantasy points, did a little bit of everything, 5 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and a steal. So I think he'll be another premier punt play if he's going to be in that starting lineup. And the cool thing about it is, these dudes are cheap. And they're probably going to get starts. And even if the game blows out, they're going to take out guys like Gary Harris, take out guys like Jokic, take out guys, like Paul Millsap. But these dudes, even just because they started, they're still going to play in garbage time. They don't have nobody else. That's what I'm really liking about these cheap dudes for Denver. Because, they'll leave them out there. They're going to end up going back to the bench and not playing very much anyways. So there's some really good value on the Denver side of things. And you could obviously look at a guy like Jokic, look at a guy like Paul Millsap. I think both of those guys are definitely in play. It's just, are they going to get their minutes with a blowout? You can look at a guy like Trey Lyles, 4,600. If it's going to be a blowout and he's going to get, 25 minutes, this guy's a fantasy point per minute monster as well. And then, that's really where I'm at. The only other person you can, possibly look at Plumlee, 3,700. It's all about minutes with him, but if it's going to be a blowout and he's going to play, mid 20 minutes, then I think that he'll be a good play. So overall, Denver side of things, there's going to be some good value tomorrow. Just pay attention to the news. And that's about all I got right now, man. Anything else? If you guys got some questions, hit us with the questions down below. We can get to those for you real quick before we get out of here. If not, man, I'm ready to get this money tomorrow. Very excited. I like 3-game slates. Tell you the truth, especially for me, it's more of a PvP slate.
2 quick things. Jokic, they blew out Phoenix. They blew the doors off Phoenix. He played 30 minutes and had 79.7 fantasy points. So I think that's a good indicator of look for him to play 30 minutes if this game blows out. And then in 30 minutes time, he obviously had one of his biggest fantasy games ever, right? And then one guy I didn't mention that I forgot to mention for Sacramento who's really relevant is Justin Jackson at 3,900. I think he's a good small forward number 2. 30 minutes, 21 minutes, 26 minutes. He's really only had one really good game, and that was against OKC. But I think he's relevant in this game, especially with the tempo this game is going to be played at.
Real quick, we did get a question in real quick from Corey Jordan. He said if we're liking Fox. So
on this slate, yes, you have to.
You can handle that.
On this slate, you have to. It's a 3-game slate. Everybody who's going to get minutes is relevant on this slate, especially for tournaments. I don't know how much I like it for cash because it just depends on roster construction. But it's hard on a regular full slate to pay $8,000 for De'Aaron Fox in this game. I wouldn't do it, but this is a 3-game slate where you don't have a lot of choices, and it's going to be an up-tempo game. There's going to be a lot of points scored no matter what. It'll come down to if the game blows out, and then if it does blow out, how many minutes he plays, does he make value? You need 48 from him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just hate that price. And I'm going to tell you right now, bro, and everybody that's listening, if Simmons is out tomorrow, play TJ McConnell. I'm telling you right now. Hey, I don't care what anybody says, bro. TJ McConnell goes off tomorrow if he starts.
I don't think Simmons is going to play.
Yeah, well, the thing is why you don't want to rush your young dude back and hurt him. I mean, that's the kind of way I'm looking at it with Simmons.
I mean, here's the thing. If you're having any type of back tightness or back issues where it's a muscle, why run him out there and let him tweak something or retweak something? Just he didn't practice today. I don't see him playing tomorrow.
Right. So, hey, that's all we got for you guys tonight. If you haven't already, check out the site. Full optimizer, run up to 150 lineups, every single NBA, NFL, MLB slate. We got our daily cash lineups for Fanduel and Draftkings. We've won 3 out of 4 on the last 4 days of NBA. Hey, join the money team. Stop missing out. Later, guys.